Welcome to Victory at Sea Ironclads, where we get to actually play with naval combat from the American Civil War. Not something you typically see, of course, in a game like this, but nonetheless, it is here. So guys, we are going to be taking a large force to try and stop the Confederate blockade runner here, and hopefully we do a pretty good job and destroy him. We're going to go ahead and select an attack, and at this point, we'll just go ahead, fast forward with the time, and we can actually speed up time to 100 times currently. Hopefully, we get there in time and can stop this blockade runner from trying to get supplies down to the south. And of course, he could be coming in from anywhere, either from Europe or potentially even from one of our northern states. Just kind of breaking trade routes. Nonetheless, it is a Confederate blockade runner, so we are going to have to enter combat. Here we go, guys, in the open ocean, and before the battle begins, we can set our ships into formations. I'm just going to keep them like that. I basically merged all the ships into the squadron, and at any point, we can actually separate the ships, pretty much select one, and send them off in a separate direction, and sort of, you know, for lack of a better word, manage these ships. I'm trying to get off. Don't want to be shooting there. Okay, well, at least you guys see a shot fired. It's not what I was trying to do. So at this point, we're going to select the entire group. And we're just going to head this way. Although it looks like we can already start taking shots. But I'm going to order our men to turn. As you can see here, you can use the keyboard to make that happen. So pretty much just Q, and the entire fleet will start to turn. Now, this thing on the right is the view, or pretty much the gun view of our ship. So that's what he's going to be able to see. And of course, the general range here in front. But what we definitely want to do is just to make sure to turn our ships. We'll go ahead and just get a shot. Get these three at least. And I'm going to order them to move there. And for these two back here, I'm going to order them to move over here. I don't know why we keep auto-firing. There we go. Hopefully we take out this Confederate ship post-haste. We can't have these guys breaking through the blockade, guys. And obviously every single one of those ships that they get through makes the actual battle, or the war, I should say, much more difficult for our other ships. Now we want to definitely focus on potentially firing. I am going to keep on pushing. Those are the blockade runners directly in front of us. I'm just going to keep things as they are. Alright, we can actually turn a bit. Let's do it. Opening fire. Not yet, not yet. Select this ship. Took him a little while, a little longer than I anticipated to open fire there. Now we're going to turn and fire. And it looks like we do have some hits. There we go. That's got to be a hit. There we go. 2 huge explosions. And it's all because of the volley there from the USS Minnesota. It looks like just 2 massive explosions sent them to the bottom of the sea. And there we go. The Wabash and the Harriet Lane seem to be doing that entirely on their own. Really good job there, boys. All right. Enemy fleet destroyed in the Atlantic Ocean. That's what I like to see. And let's take a look here at our log. This is, of course, a post-battle engagement. So it's going to give us information not just on the shots fired, but the actual casualties here. It's not going to give us information on these because they're 2 blockade runners. I guess we don't get info on the actual casualties of the blockade runners because it likely wouldn't be that many people at all. Let's take a look here. Instructions are to transport United States Army troops in order to capture Fort Hatteras and Fort Clark. Right-click on Baltimore and order your fleet to dock. My goodness, so now we not only have to fight enemies, but we have to transport soldiers for the Union. That's pretty cool, and definitely not something I'm used to in this kind of a game. So let's go ahead and send our men there. Collect cargo. Interesting. Alright. Oh, it's just ordering us to dock. Let's do what the tutorial says. Let's not be crazy. Let's just dock. There we go. On to Baltimore, boys. So right here, guys, we can actually see our docked ships within Baltimore, as well as the crew, and just pertinent information. So as you can see, we can reduce the cargo space here to make room for troops. So let's just go ahead and bring it down. U.S. Army believes 450 men are needed for the operation. At least 450 troops. This is just awesome. Now, of course, the bad news is, if the ship goes down, the troops go down with it. I'm going to take slightly more than 450. Troops are taken from the current port's garrison. The garrison will be replenished over time, and we can see there are just 29 troops left in the garrison. Alright, fair enough. Makes sense. And now we transport them. Crew come from a Navy-wide pool. Available crew will also increase over time. The more ports you hold, the more crew will enlist to your side. That's pretty cool. And of course, the higher a port's population, that does make sense, the higher it resupplies. So let's go ahead, guys. Select our fleet. And our orders are to assault the rebel garrison at Florence, Clark, and Hatteras. Alright, let's do our best here. So let's right-click on Hatteras, and let's try out the raid option. So I've actually never seen the raid option in-game. I'm looking at this for the first time as well. I'm really, really curious to see what happens here. Well, on to Fort Hatteras for the Union, boys. We're gonna get a victory here. On the sea. It just feels so strange to be mixing the American Civil War and naval combat, but it certainly happened. Alright, guys, I am ready to enter combat here. A raid on a rebel fort. Obviously, we'd really be helping our men if we could take one of these forts down and knock it out. So let's go ahead and start the battle. Now, if we can actually drop off units, I am going to be extremely happy. Right-click on the fort's icon and choose attack. Alright, so let's do that. Although, oh, do we have... Yeah, we do have these guys selected. There we go. Alright, men. Head towards the fort. Oh, that is looking great. Alright, guys, so now our actual ships are going to fire on the structure itself. I guess we just need to treat this structure as if it were a ship. In fact, I am going to go ahead and turn this guy over here. Just to be able to get the shot off, of course. Oh man, we're taking hits. We are taking hits from the fort. I think he's just out of range. Yeah, definitely out of range. Damn, man, we've got to get past this sandbank. I'm just shocked that the enemy is hitting us. They're actually doing quite well. It looks like this guy's going to go around here, or maybe the Harriet Lane is just going to attack head-on. Got to get slightly closer to get the frontal guns, but it looks like we might be able to take shots here with the Harriet Lane. Now, of course, this tutorial is available to anybody. It's actually a demo that the company has offered, the Victory at Sea guys, so definitely take a look. I think it's worth a look for sure, especially if you're into this kind of naval combat. This is so niche. I only know of a couple of games that even focus on this. And it's usually on a much larger scale, not just the American Civil War. Come on. The Harriet Lane's gonna be our hero. She's got that frontal gun and can actually do some damage. Almost, anyway. We might get stuck on the sandbank, though, and that's something that happened quite regularly with Civil War era ships. Fire! Take a look at our other ships, and it looks like we have potential enemy vessels out there. Or actually, sorry, that's just Fort Clark. So what we have to do is really focus on each fort individually, I think. But let's see what the ships do. Again, they're going to go ahead and take control here. Since we've added the attack order, they are going to kind of do their own thing. I think this thing is probably better just looking at him, though. So let me just order the Harriet to move here, and then we can order him to turn, and he can just continually be firing at that position. It's tough to estimate. I'm hoping this is going to be sufficient in terms of range. So you know what? Let's actually try and turn the Pawnee. We're going to kind of micromanage him just a bit. Let the Minnesota just continue forward. Some of these just have frontal guns, as you can see, which is a problem. It looks like the Pawnee, yeah, let's just let him use those frontal guns. That's fine for now. We'll do one fort at a time. We can actually see the blockhouses. This must be where the enemy is firing from. So I really think if we turn, this is gonna work out a lot better for us. So let me just see if we can get a turn order. Yeah. There we go. Once he turns, he's going to be able to fire with those side guns. Again, he might get stuck on the sandbank, though. That's the only negative thing here, is how easily they can get stuck. See, this guy's going to have to turn, too. There's no way he can get frontal guns to fire. Here we go. So close. Oh, it's just barely out of range. We've got to get closer, unfortunately, guys. Alright, let's order the Pawnee to attack again. The ship's captain, or I guess I should say, no, it could be the captain. I was going to say admiral. Has decided that it's best to go for those frontal gun attacks, so he knows best. As for the Minnesota, though, this is the only one that is going to have to turn, because unlike the other ones, she actually does not have any frontal guns on her. Just hope we're in range. Just reloading at this point. He's going to turn to try and get the side shots. My goodness. Look at that. But our Pawnee is holding on, man. That's why they call them Ironclads. Completely made of iron here. It's pretty hard to put a hole in her. We can actually stay right here and just continue firing. And it looks like we've already got Fort Hatteras on fire. Keep on firing, just barely out of range. Range is definitely affecting us right now. And I've got to be careful here because the Minnesota is possibly or potentially going to hit the Pawnee if we keep firing here. Although, as you can see, that fort is heavily damaged. Unfortunately, you can see hull damage, propulsion damaged. Quite a lot of damage here, period. Yeah, I think we got this guy stuck on the sandbank. Unless the Admiral can turn there. And I'd like to see some better land physics here. I mean, there's no reason he should be bouncing off a beach. He should pretty much just get stuck on the beach. That makes things slightly easier for us, actually. Steam Frigate going for the shot as well. Although it's not looking very good for the Pawnee, I won't lie to you boys. Gotta have him turn a bit more because he could absolutely get another shot. Let's turn this way. Let him do his thing. Unfortunately, our Pawnee is in real trouble. And with the rudder destroyed, I'm not sure we can even turn this thing. Let's try and turn this way. I think the rudder is just damaged, not entirely destroyed. But still, it's looking rough. Here we go, another chance at a shot. But I wonder if we should be firing directly at the fort, or if we could just focus here on the dock. I think we actually have to hit the fort itself, and we can also wipe out the batteries defending it. Looks like the one there on the left is already pretty badly destroyed. Fire! Oh, that may have been a bit late. That might misfire completely. Nope, it's actually going towards the target. Hey, not too bad, guys. Fort Hatteras has sustained heavy damage. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, it looks about halfway down, if I'm not mistaken. So now with Fort Clark, we have to do the same thing. Just order the attack order. And maybe with our more damaged vessel here, the Pawnee, I'm going to begin the attack there on Fort Clark. But I don't want to forget about this one. I want to wipe this one out first. Although it looks like Fort Clark is going to be a lot easier to attack because it's not stuck in one of these sandbanks. So we should just be able to kind of walk all over her. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Now let's see if we can't turn these guys around. In fact, all of these three. I'm going to try to turn them this way. And just get an additional volley on that fort. The hell are we waiting for? Oh, I should have taken that shot. You know what? We can actually move him a little bit in a different direction. That's fine, though. He will eventually reach the location where he can fire on the enemy fort. So far, so good. Except for that damage sustained, I don't feel all that unsafe with what we're doing here. All right, here we go. Get ready to fire on the USS Minnesota. And I don't think the guns can trouble us anymore, by the way. I really don't think they can. I believe we can drop anchor here and just destroy these guys. Okay, still a few guns. Never mind. Open fire! Absolutely wonderful. And now we're going to turn him this way. I should have just selected a turn order. Here we go. Second shot. And let's hope this is the end of Fort Hatteras. Yeah, those earthworks are still firing at us, although they have sustained some pretty serious damage. You can see the cannons on top. That's a pretty neat touch. And fire. So again, as soon as they get this far, then we want to turn, pretty much, back around, and just continue opening up on them. Fort Clark has been scouted. That is good news. That's one less job we have to do, but of course now we have to go and destroy it, and I'm hoping that the Minnesota here will turn perfectly for us to get that shot. I think she will. Let's open fire on the port here. So I'm starting to think that that might be the location we have to destroy. Maybe not. So I think direct fire on the fort, whatever you do, in terms of just hitting that general area, does seem to lower Fort Hatteras's health. So let's just hope that we're doing the right thing. And now let's send one of these guys to assist in taking out Fort Clark. I'm going to send him over just in the general direction. And I'll leave these two to stay behind and hopefully destroy the enemy fort, for goodness sakes. These Confederate forts do take a lot of shooting. But we have been bombarding it for quite a long time. It feels like hours, and I know that eventually that thing is going to fall apart. You know what? I am going to turn back. I was going to keep on going, but no. We must turn back. We've got to go ahead and just destroy that damn thing. so close, though, boys. I mean, it's definitely a lot slower than naval combat that I'm used to in these sort of games. But, you know, for the time period, it makes total sense. Now, of course, we're continuing on to Fort Clark, and it looks like our ship has already begun sort of loosening up the fort. Though those guns, those light earthworks are doing a hell of a lot of damage. Seems to have heavier defenses than the other one. Come on, reload, damn you! Want to set some fortifications on fire. Send in more of those rounds down range, folks. And it looks like one of our ships finally bit the dust. She's not going to sink, though. Doesn't look like it anyway. She just got shot through with so many holes that the crew is either dead or totally rattled and cowering in fear. And so now we go towards the final fort to try and knock it out, Fort Clark herself. Yeah, unfortunately, the USS Pawnee did pay the ultimate price. Now, if you're not like me and you don't like watching these really long battles, there is a way to just fast forward. You just click this button over here, and that will simplify things for you. Of course, with this ship, the Wabash, I am still turning around, and I'm still firing at this fort. We're not done with this fort over here. We can, however, begin the attack against Fort Clark. Let's see if they actually do get the ideal position for firing. I'm just going to let them follow their attack here. I guess that would be beaching themselves and pretty much just firing out of the right side continuously. Let's see what happens. I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's working all that well. So for this fellow, we just want to turn and head towards the enemy. Looks like we do have some rear guns as well, but I'm really not going to focus too much on them. My concern is wiping out at least one of these forts. Now that we're up close and personal, this should be a pretty devastating shot. I hope so, anyway. Okay, now we can try to land troops. Now that is interesting. So select this ship right here. And we're going to land our troops, guys. Now this I have never tried. This is pretty cool. Unbelievable. Can he make it, though? I don't know. He's taking some pretty heavy fire. Not sure if he can even make it to that shoreline. Land troops. Come on now. Certainly has the command to land troops. As to whether he's actually going to land them, I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. We really had to select the actual port itself. And now it looks like they are going in that general direction. I want to see if there's actual troops in-game, if you can actually see infantry troops, or if it's just sort of an animation of some sort, or even a message that pops up. We definitely have men on board. There we go. We're so close, guys. Will this be our first taking of a Confederate fort? I'm not sure. Only time will tell. A nice naval assault, American Civil War style. And there we go. Our troops on the ground are in combat with the enemy. Numbers on each side of the battle. Aside from greater numbers, it's a greater chance of victory. Makes sense. Makes sense. Alright, it looks like our troops did not take the fort, unless I'm mistaken there. And at this point, we got to use the Minnesota just to open fire on the enemy, hopefully. And damage them that way. That is another way for us to knock the fort out. Nonetheless, when you look at the actual, you know, the large map, etc., and you just see all of the possibilities, this looks like a pretty in-depth game. I think this battle could take a lot longer than I actually anticipated. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, just hit that like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. Just a look at USS Ironclads, or is it USS Ironclads? Victory at Sea Ironclads, American Civil War. Oh, nice shot. I'm gonna call it a premature victory for the Union. Look at that! We actually did win. Now, I guess the assault did finally go through, and the Confederacy lost 900 troops in that bombardment, and also probably in that charge. So again, like I said, you see this map is just quite amazing. We, of course, completed the Hatteras Inlet objective, knocking out, of course, the 2 Confederate forts. Well, at least one of the Confederate forts. I believe the Fort Hatteras we did not take yet. We captured Fort Clark, but Fort Hatteras was heavily damaged and also destroyed the blockade runners. All in a day's work for the United States Navy. Thank you again, folks. I'll catch you on the next one.